Yo, what's up? Let's rank some Spider-Man films. Okay, Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it's not great. Andrew Garfield is probably my least favorite Spider-Man. I think there's a difference between being cocky and likable and cocky and unlikable. And for me, Andrew Garfield is closer to cocky and unlikable. I think they butcher Electro, they butcher Green Goblin. There's so many plot lines that go nowhere, like with his parents and with Sinister Six and with Rhino. You can tell the production process of this movie was just a mess when they put it together. I think the only thing I really like is Gwen Stacy as Emma Stone. I think she's fantastic. Maybe there's a few moments that are okay, so for that reason I'm putting it in D tier. Far From Home, my least favorite of the Home trilogy. I think it's fine. Jake Gyllenhaal is really good as Mysterio. I like how they modernized Mysterio with the drones. I like Tom Holland, but they focus a lot more on Tom Holland and Zendaya's relationship in this one, and I'm not the biggest fan of that relationship in these movies. So for that reason, I'm probably putting it in C tier. Spider-Man 3 is not great. I think the black suit looks cool. I dislike the way they did the symbiote. I think they did Sandman really well. I thought he was a great character and I thought everything with him was great. But beyond that, there really isn't much else to it. So this is probably D tier. Spider-Man Homecoming, pretty good first film for the MCU. Michael Keaton as Vulture is fantastic. I like Tom Holland a lot as Spider-Man. Yeah, just a very solid Spider-Man film, and I think it goes in A. Into the Spider-Verse is easy S tier for me. I think the Spider-Verse films really understand the essence of what it means to be Spider-Man. I think aesthetically, in terms of music and art style, it's incredible, and the story is great. The characters are fantastic. Yeah, that's S tier. Spider-Man 2, also incredible. So many great moments. A fantastic villain in Doc Ock. Tobey Maguire is a fantastic Spider-Man. Kirsten Dunst isn't amazing in the film. Neither is James Franco, but it's still a really good film, and I'd put it in A tier. I'm not gonna. It's not quite on Spider-Verse level in my opinion, but it's probably like in between an S and an A. Spider-Man 1, for me, pretty comparable to Spider-Man 2. I think Willem Dafoe is one of the greatest. Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin is one of the greatest villains of all time. With Doc Ock, great film. Pretty much for the same reasons as Spider-Man 2, I'm gonna put it in A. Spider-Man No Way Home, I've got a lot of problems with Spider-Man No Way Home. I dislike the way they handled the villains. I thought besides Willem Dafoe, who was incredible in the film, none of the other villains really had much to do. If they weren't in just like box cages, they were just like in an apartment, and they didn't really do anything when they could have done so much more. I think the foundation of the story was just completely wrong in terms of like Doctor Strange's reasonings for doing that spell was just stupid, and I really dislike the way they introduced Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I thought they could have done a much better job with that. But this is one of those movies where you kind of look past the problems and you just don't care about them because you're just looking at the fact that Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire are on screen together. And for me, they absolutely nailed that part, and for that reason alone, and how impossible that thought was to have all three of them on screen beforehand, and the fact that they pulled it off well enough, I think that's enough to give it an S. Ending off with The Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, another solid first Spider-Man film. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Andrew Garfield in these films. And also the story is kind of basic, you know, it's a very standard story of, oh, the villain basically wants to take over the world. It's kind of the plot of a lot of films, so it's not doing anything complex, but again, for the first film, it's quite solid. I liked Emma Stone, as I said before. Lizard was fine, Andrew Garfield was fine, and it's a solid first film, so I put it in B. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys for watching.